Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon when you're watching this video lecture. After the completion of two different types of possible questions from the chapter of overheads, one is related to primary and secondary distribution of overheads, and second one related to computation of machine hour rate. Let us move on to another concept and possible question from this chapter, that is treatment of under or over absorbed overheads. First of all, the concept of overheads itself is about having a predetermined rate, and overheads are absorbed into the cost by taking the predetermined overhead rate, whatever that rate may be, whatever the basis it might be, whether it is as a percentage of direct material or percentage of direct labor or percentage of prime cost or machine hour rate, labor hour rate, or per unit, whatever the basis may be, according to the basis that the organization chooses, they will create and calculate a predetermined rate. And when the actual production happens, when the real activities happen, according to the real activities, they will absorb the overheads on the basis of predetermined rates. But the problem is, at the end of any period, generally let us say accounting period 1 year, the overheads which are absorbed throughout the year into the cost accounts using the predetermined overhead rates will not match with the actual overheads really incurred. That is almost impossible that absorbed overheads and actual overheads are same. Why will that be? Because absorbed overheads have been absorbed using a predetermined rate on the basis of past experience, and during the real period of actual activity, the overheads would have been incurred on the reality basis. And these need not be same, and in general they will not be same. So what does it result in? Naturally, under absorption or over absorption of overheads. When can we say under absorption or under recovery? When the recovery of overheads or absorption of overheads has happened lesser and actual overheads are more than the recovered overheads, then that results in under absorption, and vice versa for over absorption. But the point now we have to look at is, okay, we absorbed the overheads, everything happened, but at the end of the accounting period, now we came to know what are the actual overheads. Then how to treat this under or over absorbed overheads? That is the point of discussion. For that we need to follow a simple flowchart type of thought process in mind. If there is any under or over absorption of overheads, if that is a very small amount, simply charge it to costing profit and loss account. No, if it is not a small amount, of course that is not going to be a choice for us, because we are not the ones to decide whether it is small or not. And even if it is the case, that will not be a question. Just to charge everything to costing profit and loss account is not the solution that we seek. That will not be a possible problem for exam point of view. In reality, if the difference between absorbed overheads and actual overheads is really small, then we don't need to much worry about the other things. Straight away we can charge it to the costing profit and loss account. If not, that means the under or over absorbed amount of overheads is big. Then again we have to check whether this under absorption or over absorption happened due to abnormal reasons or wrong estimation. Then also such under or over absorbed overheads should be charged to costing profit and loss account. If not, means what? This under absorption over absorption happened due to normal reasons. Then what we are supposed to do is we need to calculate supplementary rates. Supplementary rates means either increasing or decreasing, as the case may be, of the cost of sales, finished goods, and work in progress. Using these supplementary rates, the cost of sales, finished goods, or work in progress amounts have to be either increased or decreased. Let us say, imagine already the overheads were under absorbed, means the actual cost is more than the absorbed cost. What we absorbed is less, what we really incurred is more. So that the difference amount now has to be charged. Where it has to be charged? It has to be charged to three different places, naturally. whatever is manufactured during the period, that will be either in the cost of sales, means either it is sold, or it will be lying in the finished goods unsold but still completed goods. But there might be some overheads incurred where the production is not yet complete, which we call work in progress. So that also should be adjusted using the supplementary rates, and increasing or decreasing these three amounts is the adjustment we are supposed to do. That's all. That is the only simple mechanism that we should follow whenever there is an under absorption or over absorption of overheads. Let us apply this in one of the illustrations and some more problems given in the ICI material. A light engineering factory fabricates machine parts to customers. The factory commenced fabrication of 12 numbers of machine parts to customers specifications, and expenditure incurred on the job for the next week, for the week ending 31st or 21st August is given below. Whatever it is, the data given here is related to a particular job, fabrication job, and amounts are given. Direct materials, direct labor, and machine facilities are like this. Machine number 1, 4 hours worked, 45 rupees multiplied means we should understand 45 is the machine hour rate for machine number 1. That was already available, now it is absorbed. Machine number 2, machine hour rate would have been 65 rupees, and this job required 6 hours of machine number 2. So 6 into 65, 390 rupees is absorbed. Total overheads 570, and in addition to that, overheads at the rate of 8 rupees per hour on 20 manual hours, that is labor hour rate, that is over and above the machine hour rates. Here, some other overheads are recovered or absorbed on labor hour rate basis, 20 hours into 8. So 8 rupees is once again the predetermined rate. Taking that, 160 rupees is absorbed into the total cost of this job. See, normally that's what happens when we have to prepare a job cost sheet. This is already what we do normally. But now the situation is the overhead rate of 8 rupees per hour is based on 3000 man hours per week, which means ideally, actually the overheads, as projected, should be what? 3000 into 8 rupees. So 24,000 rupees is the overheads. For what? That is where we have to be clear. That is not for this only one job. This is only details of one job. But when we talk about the details of here 8 rupees into 3,000 man hours, that is not for this job, that is for the entire factory. So total overheads for the factory in a week would be 24,000 rupees. Similarly, the machine hour rates are based on the normal working of machine number 1 and 2 for 40 and 45 hours per week. 40 and 45 hours. So we have to take how much would be the cost first. If machine hour rate is 45, which is based on 40 hours working per week as given for machine number 1, what would be the amount of overheads? Per week 1800 rupees. What about machine number 2? Machine number 2, 65 is the machine hour rate into how much would have been the cost considering 45 hours per week. So 2925. So we are looking at per week data, hourly data, labor hours 3000, machine hours 40 and 45. And accordingly, the overhead cost we can first find out. And predetermined overhead rates are already there. In fact, actually we are doing a reverse calculation. How to find out predetermined overhead rates? Overhead cost divided by number of hours. But here we have the predetermined rate and number of hours. So how much would have been the overhead cost for the entire factory? This much would have been the overhead cost related to labor related overheads and machine related overheads. But now, later, after the close of each week, the factory levies a supplementary rate for the recovery of full overhead expenses on the basis of actual hours worked during the week. So, they are doing this adjustment every week, supplementary rates they are using every week on the basis of actual number of hours worked during the week. Cost will be same, cost is not going to change, but the per hour overhead rate should be definitely different, depending upon the actual number of hours worked during the week. And now for this week we are looking at ending 21st of August. What happened is, really labor hours worked are only 2400, and machine number 1 worked for 30 hours, machine number 2 worked for 32.5 hours. This is the reality. Okay. Now, what should be the ideal recovery rate? Ideally actual basis means 24,000 divided by 2,400. 10 rupees should be the ideal recovery rate. 60 rupees, 90 rupees should be the ideal recovery rate. But actually the recovery happened only at a different way. Here they have taken 8 rupees per hour labor hour. Here they have taken 45 rupees per machine number 1 hour. Here they have taken 65 rupees per hour of machine number 2. So what is this supplementary rate that we should charge additionally now? Under recovery happened. 10 should have been the overhead rate, but 8 only was taken as predetermined rate. So 10 minus 8 is called as supplementary rate. Simple. So supplementary rates are these three things: 2 per labor hour, 15 per machine hour 1, and 25 per machine hour 2. This is for the entire factory once again. Now, what is asked here is, prepare a cost sheet for the job for the fabrication of this 12 numbers machine parts, duly levying the supplementary rates. So what he has given already is taking the original rates, 1810. Of course, in the examination you can do the entire thing once again, copy paste. Up to 1810 it is same, nothing different. In addition to that, we have to levy supplementary rates also. How to levy supplementary rates? Simple. How many number of hours, labor hours are worked on this particular job? 20 hours. What is the supplementary rate? We know that, 2 rupees. That means what? 40 rupees should be added. That's what it is. And how many hours of machine number 1 happened? 4 hours. So 4 into supplementary rate for machine number 1 is 15 rupees. Right? Why 80 has come here? Actual number of hours 32.5. Yeah. Is it not 2925? Machine number 2 budgeted. $45 hours, no? Not 40 hours per week. Machine number 2, 45 is said. So 45 into 65. I think this calculation in the isometric is wrong. Change this one. So let us do this way. Take 1810 or whatever, that is the starting point. But of course, in the exam you have to copy paste all this existing data. Question to be again just copied pasted. Entire this statement has to be copied pasted. But on that you need to add supplementary rates. So what are the supplementary rates here? That is 20 into 2 rupees, right? And 4 into 15 rupees. Then 6 into, for machine number 2, 25 rupees. That is the correct one. Here I think computation of original cost was done wrong way, because machine number 2 budgeted hours were not 40, it was 45. So that difference is there. That's a wrong calculation. Anyway, the correct calculation is this. Total of all this is the supplementary overheads that are charged now, and naturally the total cost of this job is now going to be 2060. That is the correct answer. 2060 after taking supplementary rates. That's all. Oh, sorry. The machine hour rates are based on the normal working of machine number 1 and 2 for 40 hours out of 45 hours per week is given. So I was thinking that is why we have to read the question carefully. Applies to everybody, including me. Because there are machine number 1 and 2 and 40 and 45, I thought it is respectively. No, out of 45, 40 hours only. That means the calculation is correct there. So it is not going to be 45 hours, it is 40 hours only. Out of 45, 40 hours he said. That means, but capacity is 45, but budgeted number of hours is only 40 for both machines. There is no difference between 1 and 2. So now naturally the supplementary rate is not going to be 25, it will be 15, and that is adjusted here. Now the total cost is 2000, which is correct. That is correct. That is how supplementary rates can be calculated when there is an under or over recovery of overheads. Now, let us do some more questions which are given in the practice questions at the end of the chapter. I think 1, 2, 3 we have done, 4, 5, 6 also we have done, 7. Seventh question we have to do. These are solutions, I think. So let us go to the problems themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all are done. Then seventh question, look at this. This is a typical question for 5 marks, under or over absorption. Similar questions can be very well expected, but little bit of theory has to be written in examination as part of presentation, but calculations wise what has to be done, let us see that. In a factory, overheads of a particular department are recovered on the basis of 5 rupees per machine hour. The total expenses incurred and actual machine hours for the department for the month were 80,000 and 10,000 hours respectively. So first of all, when 10,000 hours are worked and 5 rupees per hour is the recovery rate, how much will be the overheads absorbed? Absorbed overheads will be only 50,000 rupees. That is first thing, it is clear. But actual overheads are how much? 80,000 rupees. Really incurred expenses are 80,000 rupees. But don't jump to conclusion, read it carefully. Out of the amount of 80,000, 15,000 became payable due to an award of the labor court. Is that going to happen normally? No, that is maybe a court judgment, which is not a recurring item. That's an exceptional item. So we don't have to worry about that. So out of this 80,000, let us exclude 15,000. That is not going to be important for us. Yes, that can be charged to P&L account separately. That's okay. And not only that, 5,000 was in respect of expenses of the previous year booked in the current month. That means something was wrong in the last year. That is booked now. Should it be charged to the cost? That is not correct. That's not the item related to the current period. So that also can be excluded from this 80,000. Now, actual production was 40,000 units. That's what he said. So basically, the overheads really incurred during this period, which can be just looked at and compared, are 60,000. 15,000 is not a recurring item, it is a exceptional item. 5,000 also is not related to this year, that is related to previous year, past year. So both of them if you exclude, really the overheads incurred actually in reality related to the current period are 60,000. Absorbed are 50,000. So naturally how much will be under absorbed overheads? Under absorbed overheads will be 10,000 rupees. That is clear. That we have calculated already. Of course, you have to do this in statement format. Now, actual number of units produced are 40,000. In that, 30,000 units are sold. Which means what? 10,000 units are still in the closing stock inventory. That is one thing. Another data. On analyzing the reasons, it was found that 60% of the under-absorbed overheads was due to defective planning and rest was attributed to the normal cost increase. Explain how would you treat the under-absorbed overhead in the cost accounts. Once again, theory has to be written very clearly, and for reference how it has to be written, you can go to the answer also. This is how you have to clearly write. First of all, calculation. Calculation what we did. 80,000, take this 15,000, 5,000 apart. So 60,000 is the actual expenses incurred for the month. Recovered or absorbed is 50,000, under absorbed is 10,000. First you should show all this calculation in a statement format. Then what? Out of this 10,000, what is said is 60% is due to defective planning. That means abnormal reasons. That means 6,000 should be directly charged to costing P&L account. But that you have to write very clearly. That's what you have to write also. I think in this question it is not given. But whereas 4,000 remaining which is 40% of this 10,000, that should be distributed, because that should be adjusted in what? The finished goods and work in progress and the closing stock. So cost of sales, work in progress, closing stock. But in this problem there is no work in progress. So simply what we have to do, we have to just distribute this 4,000 to the closing stock of finished goods. Let us call it just finished goods. And the cost of sales or cost of goods sold, whatever we can call it. How this has to be distributed, this 4,000? That depends upon the number of units. What is said, 40,000 units are produced. 40,000 units are produced. Right? That means, sorry, it's the other way. How much will be the under absorption per unit? 0.1. That we can consider it as a supplementary overhead rate. So how many units of finished goods are there in the stock? 1,000 units are there. 10,000 units are there. Out of 40,000, 30,000 sold, he said. So 10,000 into 0.1, 1,000 goes to finished goods stock, and 30,000 which are actually sold multiplied with supplementary rate of 0.1. That means 3,000 will be charged to the cost of sales. So finished goods 1,000, cost of sales 3,000. That has to be distributed. That is about only 4,000 rupees that is being distributed. Of course, in this solution it is not completely given, but you should clearly write also 6,000 should be charged to the costing profit and loss account. This is how you have to write actually, which is there in the next question. The unabsorbed overheads dash 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 due to the defective planning to be treated as abnormal and therefore charged to the costing profit and loss account. Clearly you have to write that. And then the balance of unabsorbed overheads, whatever it is, that should be charged to production. And of course, production is one thing, but that will adjust either cost of sales or finished goods or work in progress, as the case may be, depending upon whatever is there in that question. In this question there is no work in progress, hence cost of sales and finished goods are adjusted with, because it is under absorption. 3,000 cost of sales will be increased, and finished goods stock value also, closing stock, will be increased by 1,000. That's all. That is how the under absorption of overheads or over absorption of overheads will have to be treated. Simple. Now, let us go to another question. It's the 8th question, similar one. In a manufacturing unit, factory overheads are recovered at a predetermined rate of 25 per man day. Okay, the total factory overhead expenses incurred and man days worked are actually 41.5 lakhs and 1.5 lakhs man days. Okay, 1,50,000 man days multiplied with 25 per man day. First of all, this is 37,50,000 going to be the absorbed overheads. That is clear. Then overheads incurred are how much? He said 41,50,000. Okay, that is clear. And I think same question with different numbers. 40,000 units produced, 30,000 sold means 10,000 in stock. On analyzing the reasons, it was found that 60% was due to defective planning, rest was attributable to increase in the overhead cost. Explain how would you treat the unabsorbed overheads in the cost accounts. Nothing else given here. No special items like earlier. Special items like that, non-recurring items, prior period items, those are all there. They are not to be used for supplementary rates. They can be directly charged to the costing profit and loss account separately, or maybe they can be ignored in cost accounts also, because they are not directly related to cost. They can be financial accounting items, but still there is nothing like that here. Actual overheads are 41.5 lakhs and absorbed overheads are 37 lakhs 50,000. So how much is the under absorbed overheads here? Under absorbed here also 4 lakhs. In that, what you mentioned is 60% is due to defective planning. So just 60% of that will be charged to costing P&L account, that you have to write separately. And what about the remaining 1,60,000 is the point. That 1,60,000 we have to find out supplementary overhead rate. For that we can find out number of units. First of all, this 1,60,000 is incurred on how many units of production? 40,000 units of production. So what is the supplementary overhead rate here? 4 rupees. So that can be used to increase the cost of finished goods also and cost of sales also. Finished goods are how many? 10,000 units multiplied with 4, that is 40,000. Cost of sales means actually number of units sold is 30,000 units, supplementary rate 4 rupees. total of 1,60,000 should be distributed like that. That should match. 1,60,000 is the under-absorbed overhead which need adjustment in the cost accounts. Where 1 at cost of sales, amount of 1,20,000, and 2 at finished goods with an adjustment upwards now of 40,000. That's it. That's the treatment. More or less the same question with only just numbers changed in that. Such questions have been asked many number of times in the earlier examinations. Before going to this question number 9, which we will do anyway, let us do similar questions so that straight away we can understand this concept of under or over absorption very clearly. Now question number 10, the total overhead expenses of a factory are 446,380. Okay. Taking into account the normal working of the factory, overhead was recovered in production at the rate of 1.25 per hour. Actual hours worked were 293,104. Okay, 293,104. 293,104 hours are worked, recovered at 1.25 hour means absorbed overheads are 366,380. Right? State how would you proceed to close the books of accounts, assuming that besides 7,800 units produced, of which 7,000 were sold, which means 800 units are closing stock. Besides them, there is a 200 equivalent units in work in progress. Very important. Work in progress is there in this question, but we don't have to calculate equivalent units. Already equivalent units are given. That is 200 units. How many units of work in progress is there? We don't care. We need equivalent units of work in progress, because the cost that can be apportioned among completed and sold units or completed and unsold units cannot be the same as work in progress. That is why, as we already know in the process costing concept also, work in progress requires equivalent units so that cost per unit can be calculated uniformly. We need to make it uniform in line with the fully completed units which are produced during the period. So that is the data related to the three things. All three are there in this question: finished goods, cost of sales, work in progress. On investigation, it was found that 50% of the unabsorbed overheads was on account of increase in the cost of indirect materials and indirect labor. Remaining was due to factory inefficiency. Whatever is due to factory inefficiency and all, that is abnormal. That is not normal. It should not be normal. So any normal increase in the cost of materials and labor, indirect materials and indirect labor, that is normal. Also give the profit implication of the method that is suggested. Okay. Now, are there any extraordinary items like that earlier? No. So simply what is the under-absorbed overheads or over-absorbed overheads here? Under-absorbed only here also. 446,380 is actual and 366,380 is absorbed or recovered. So under-absorbed is how much? 80,000. Now, 80,000 divided by total number of units produced, we have to first find out. In this half only, na? Directly we cannot do it. Let us take this 80,000, split it into 40 and 40. This 40 directly goes to costing P&L account. We don't have to worry about that. This 40, the remaining 40 has to be adjusted with three things: cost of sales, work in progress, and finished goods. How? Depending upon the number of units what they have. So let us take this way. Maybe like a statement this can be given. How many units are finished goods and sold? 7,000 are sold units. This is 800 are still in stock finished goods. 200 equivalent units of work in progress are already there. So total is how much here? 8,000. So what can be considered as a supplementary rate here? 40,000 divided by 8,000. That is 5 rupees. So simply all that we need to do is take this into 5 rupees. So total of course will be once again 40,000. So this 40,000 has to be distributed like this. How much? Cost of sales to be increased by 35,000, work in progress and finished goods to be increased by 1,000 and 4,000 respectively. And what is the profit implication? Naturally the profit will be lower by 35,000 because the cost of sales has increased. When cost increases, profit decreases. So the profit implication will be that 35,000 profit will be lesser than earlier as per the original recovered overheads. So that is what is the question. What is the profit implication also we have to write. That is question number 10. But once again just I want to show you the presentation how it should be. question number 10, right? Look at this. Clearly, you should write. First of all, what is actual factory overheads? Then factory overheads recovered or absorbed, underabsorbed, unabsorbed or underabsorbed actually. So how to treat that? 50% will be charged to costing P&L account and 50% will be adjusted. So how that has to be done? That is clearly given. First you have to take a supplementary rate which we calculated at 5 rupees. Then that 5 rupees has to be used for increasing the cost of sales, 7,000 into 5 and finished goods 800 into 5, work in progress 200 into 5, 200 equivalent units. So cost wise total 40,000. So because of this what happens? The profit for the period will be lesser by 35,000 and closing stock value and work in progress will be more by 4,000 and 1,000 respectively. The balance amount of 40,000 due to the factory inefficiency should be charged to costing P&L account because it is an abnormal loss. So once again I am repeating, these type of questions require not just calculations, a good statement format presentation and explanation of what has to be done. So this is a mix of, you can say, problem and theory question. Okay, so that was question number 10. Then question number 11. Let us look at this also. This is a more possible 5 marks question. Almost we can say, if at all the paper setter wants to ask from this area of this chapter, this can be the Paka question that we can expect in general. ABC Limited manufactures a single product and absorbs the production overheads at a predetermined rate of 10 rupees per machine hour. So 10 rupees is what? Machine hour rate. At the end of the financial year, whatever, it has been found that actual production overheads incurred are 6 lakhs. Okay, fine. This is 6 lakhs actual production overheads incurred. It included 45,000 on account of written off obsolete stores and 30,000 being wages paid for the strike period under an award. So first of all, these two are extraordinary items. 45,000 writing off obsolete stores is an accounting thing. That should not affect the actual cost of production and all. Because the 6 lakhs included that, we have to take it out. And 30,000 being the wages paid for strike period is also not some normal thing. So 30,000 also take it out. So really the overheads that we are bothered about is 5 lakhs 25,000. Don't think about that 75,000, what happens to that? It will be there somewhere in the cost accounts. Generally it will be there in the charging to costing P&L account directly. But that should not be charged to cost of production for sure. That should not be charged to the cost of goods sold for sure. Then you may say, what is the difference whether it is here or whether it is there? Ultimately profit will be same. Na? If that is the question, then we don't need cost accounts only. We have financial accounts already to find out profit. So that logic or that thought should not come, because costing this is, our job is to find out the cost correctly. Not that I want to find out profit. For that we have a fantastic subject called financial accounting. So here also we might find out if required, but purpose of cost accounting is not to find out profit ultimately. It is to find out cost. So should this 45,000, 30,000 be normally included in the regular cost? Definitely not, because these are not normal things. These are something that happened specially. So we eliminated them. Let us say 5 lakhs 24,000 is actual. Then also what was given is number of units. The production and sales data is given. Finished goods 20,000 units. I'm just writing it here. Maybe. Finished goods means production, that is 20,000. Sales 18,000, which means stock. Closing stock. This is actually stock, let us say. Inventories, let us say. But inventories again is a big word. That is why finished goods is what we are using, so that we can distinguish between our WIP. When you use the word inventories, that includes WIP also, that again messes up. So this is the stock of finished goods actually. Okay. Let us say that is the one. How much will be the stock of finished goods? Production 20,000, sales 18,000. That means 2,000 is finished goods stock. Now look at work in progress. 8,000 units, 50% complete in all respects. This is where we have to be careful. Should we take 8,000? No, we should not. We should take only 4,000. Why? That 4,000 is equivalent units of work in progress. We need to make all the number of units uniform. In other words, the 8,000 units of work in progress are equivalent to 4,000 units of finished goods. But they are not finished goods. If they are really finished, we don't call them work in progress. That is why we are imaginarily calculating how much would have been the finished goods if 8,000 units of work in progress is there. In equivalent terms, what it would be equivalent to of really finished goods? 4,000. Why is that? Because these are completed 50% in all respects. So that is the split that will require later. Total is 24,000. Anyway, I still did not get the actual overheads and absorbed overheads. Actual overheads we got already. Actual overheads is 5,25,000. Absorbed overheads on the basis of machine hour rate of 10 rupees is given, but how many machine hours actually worked? The actual machine hours worked during the period are 48,000. So 48,000 into 10 rupees means absorbed overheads will be 4,80,000. It has been found that one third of the under absorption of production overhead happened due to lack of production planning, and rest was attributable to normal increase in costs. Okay, that is one more point given. First of all, how much is the under absorption of overheads? How much? 525 minus this 4,80,000. In this, one third means 15,000. Of course, should be charged to costing P&L account directly because it is due to lack of planning, which means an abnormal thing. Rest is attributable to normal. So the remaining is how much rest means 30,000 has to be distributed among these three things in the same ratio. Simple. So what is the supplementary rate that we can use here? 30,000 rupees divided by total 24,000 units, that comes to 1.25. Just use that supplementary rate, number of units multiply with this supplementary rate, you will get how much to be charged. So total is 30,000 naturally. So that is the distribution of under absorbed overheads to cost of sales, work in progress and stock of finished goods. That's what is asked here. What is the accounting treatment also is asked. We know that 15,000 should be charged to the costing P&L account, 22,500 should be added to the cost of sales, 5,000 should be added to the cost of work in progress, 12,500 should be added to the finished goods stock. That is what is the accounting treatment, whatever, of this total 30,000 rupees. That's it. That is one of the questions related to under absorption or over absorption of overhead rates. But you have to write very clearly what you are doing. Treatment means you have to write something, text also. Don't just throw some numbers and expect marks, particularly related to these type of questions. These type of questions are not like that. Yeah, that is about third and last part of this chapter, overheads, we can say. So have we done all the questions? Let us check once again. Question number 1, 2, is a problem, solutions. 11 just now done, 10 done. 9 is something we have to do, we'll do that. 8 done, 7, 6 and prior to that all these exercise questions done. In illustrations there is one question which is a bigger one. We will do it along with budgets type of question. I told you already that we will do separately. Now let us look at this question. Ninth question is very good question once again. 10 marks question like this can be fantastically expected. By the way, and this can act like a, once again, precursor to activity based costing. Let me also reiterate the point. Overheads, activity based costing, these two topics are very closely related to each other. In fact, if a ABC question is asked, that will also include the normal overheads also. In the other words, question from activity based costing will be in general in such a way that compute the cost using traditional costing, that is absorption costing, also compute the cost using ABC and see the results and why the difference is there, explain. Like this, the standard question under ABC will be, which means what? Half of that question is again overheads only. Remaining half only is ABC. So these two are very closely related with each other. Only difference is in case of absorption costing, what we follow, we take some predetermined rate according to the whims and fancies of the management. Oh, the problem is any rate they can take, and that may be really actually representative of the realities or not. So a lot of limitations are there with this absorption model. But ABC will go into the little minute details of the actual activities, and ultimate objective is still the same, no difference. Overhead allocation only, overhead distribution only. Material cost, labor cost will not change irrespective of whether it is ABC or absorption costing, whichever costing it is. Material cost, labor cost are very direct things. They are always there, same. All issues come with overheads only if you observe. And only the point is, the basis of how the apportionment should happen under absorption costing is on some in general a predetermined basis, and most of the factories use blanket rates, which is not so scientific. So when you go into little more details of the realities of a particular organization, including different departments, then more detailed way of absorption and more better scientific way of distribution of overheads can happen. That is the objective of ABC. So ninth question it could be even considered as a precursor for ABC, though it is not actually ABC. These people are using something else, and we have to just suggest a better thing, at least within the. They are even so lethargic to even use the absorption costing also properly. So let's read the question carefully. Ninth question: a factory has 3 production departments. Policy of the factory is to recover production overheads on the entire factory. That means blanket rate. By adopting a single blanket rate used based on percentage of total factory overheads to total factory wages. That's it. That is the rate, or that is the basis what they are using, which is not actually good. No? Why? Because blanket rate is not going to be representative of each department's behavior or level of activity and what actually they are incurring. So that is why that is not good. But still, what they are using, they are using. We cannot say anything about it. They are using this rate. Simply speaking, overheads are recovered on the basis of wages. That means overhead recovery rate here will be factory overheads divided by factory wages into 100. That is what they are using, percentage of direct wages as the basis for recovery, as a blanket rate for the entire factory. That's what they are already doing. But now the relevant data for the month is given. Budgets and actuals both are given. Direct material, direct wages, factory overheads, direct labor hours, machine hours are also given. Direct labor hours is not rupees. This rupees should not be there here. So don't get confused here in the question. This is not rupees and all. This should be elsewhere. Actually, this should be left side. Direct material rupees, direct wages rupees, factory overheads rupees. Direct labor hours cannot be in rupees. That is number of hours only. So instead of here, ideally it should be here. Fine. This is only print mistake. Forget about it. So this data is given about 3 different departments. One is machining department, assembly and packing department. This is budget. Actual is also given. Machining, assembly, packing. So just a lot of numbers thrown to us. That's okay. But what we have to do, we have to do. Just we don't have to worry about the numbers. Numbers are given for our usage. The details of one of the representative jobs. This is for the entire factory, by the way. And now what is giving is the details of one of the jobs. Representative jobs means only one job, not for entire factory. For this particular job, which has been produced during the month, the details are given. And what is this job? Whatever, job number CW7083, some code they have. So what is the cost that they have actually incurred on the basis of direct materials? This is rupees. Once again, it should be here. This should not be there. So direct wages also is rupees. So these two are rupees. These are number of hours. Okay, this is related to the job. And then after this, factory adds 30% on the factory cost. What is factory cost? Direct material plus direct labor plus factory overheads. So after factory cost, it will add 30%. Add on means on that markup 30% to cover administration, selling overheads and profit. So we don't need to worry about how much is each of them. For all of them put together, they will add 30%. That's what is mentioned here. Now, what is required is to calculate overhead absorption rate as per the current policy of the company and determine the selling job of job number CW7083. That is first thing. Then we will see other questions one after the other. Once again, presentation in the examination has to be definitely better than what I am showing here, because we are only showing the calculations here. Presentation includes descriptions. So what is the current policy? For that we need to have predetermined blanket overhead rate. There is no departmental level overhead rate, blanket overhead rate, what they said. How they will do? They will take the total of factory overheads, naturally budgeted, on the basis of budgeted factory overheads divided by budgeted wages into 100. Simple. So that is a predetermined blanket overhead rate. Predetermined blanket overhead rate, how much? Let us do this calculation. 3,60,000 plus 1,40,000 plus 1,25,000. These are the Total factory overheads budgeted, totals only, individuals we don't need, 360, 140, 125, 625. And direct wages how much? 80 plus 70, 150, 150 plus 350, 5 lakhs, right? So what is the blanket overhead rate we are talking about? 6.25 divided by 5 lakhs. Clearly be clear, 1.25 per 1.25 is like percentage, 125% let us say. So simply factory overheads are going to be recovered as 125% of direct wages. Direct wages are 5 lakhs and factory overheads are 6 lakhs 25,000 as budgeted. That means what is the existing policy of the factory? 125% of direct wages will be the factory overheads recovery rate. That is first thing we have to find out. For this again we can do it in a statement format. Now we need to apply this to this job, right? Here for this job number 7083 CW whatever it is, only related to that particular job. Direct material cost, direct wages and factory overheads will have to be taken. First of all, what is the direct material cost? Again, we don't need departmental wise, we need total. For the job cost sheet, what is asked and required, we need to find out selling price of job. For that separately machining, assembly, packing, even if you copy paste, it is not going to serve any purpose. So let us just total all of them because we are not taking any departmental rates. Anyway, it is blanket rates. So what is the total of direct material cost for job number CW7083? 1200 plus 600 plus 900. 2700. Direct wages given 240 plus 360 plus 60. 240 plus 360 plus 60. That is direct wages. Now, remaining things are not useful now because we are not using any of those things. We are using a blanket rate of 125% on direct wages. So directly take 660 into 125%. That is going to be the factory overheads recovered into the job. So what is the factory cost then? Factory cost is going to be 4185. Add 30%. That's what you mentioned. 30% you have to add that. So what is the final selling price of this job? Selling price of this job could be 5441. Maybe you can have some decimals here, no problem. Okay, 5440.5 let us say. That is the cost of the job according to the information given. So 1200 plus 600 plus 300, here 2700. Is it 2700, 900? How is it come? 1200, here I did a mistake. It's not 900, it is 300. 12 plus 6 plus 3. 12 plus 6 plus 3. 2100. Direct wages is correct, 660. And recovery is 125%, percentage covered, no problem. Add 30%, this is also percentage, so no problem. So actual selling price for the job is, according to old method, 4660.5. That is the answer for first question. Now what is I saying? Suggest any suitable alternative methods of absorption of the factory overheads and calculate the overhead recovery rates based on the method so recommended by you. So is it correct or is it better or appropriate for the factory to take entire factory overheads on the basis of some blanket rate of 125% of direct wages? Doesn't make real sense. Why? Because there are departments and certain departments, for example, like machining department has more machine hours than labor hours, means it is a more mechanical type of department, more automated type of department, whereas assembly and packing are having more labor hours. Packing doesn't have any machine hours at all. So what is a better rate for each of the departments? We can have a separate basis. That is better. So instead of blanket rate, simply what we can suggest is let us have a departmental overhead rate. And what is a better rate for machining department? Machine hour rate, because machine hours are more here. That is going to be more influential. Assembly and packing, for both of them, labor hour rate could be the better basis. So let us do that, finding out what is the machine hour rate and labor hour rates for each of these departments. Machining, assembly, packing. Machining, what could be the machine hour rate? What is machine hour rate? Simply budgeted factory overheads divided by machine hours. So 3,60,000 divided by 80,000. That means 4.5 rupees is the machine hour rate per hour for machining department. That is machine hour rate. Overheads divided by number of machine hours. So when we take this predetermined rates, whether it is blanket or departmental, we should take only budgets. Actuals do not matter. Of course, any difference between absorbed and actual, that will be treated separately. If that question is asked, then the actuals can be looked at. Otherwise, we don't have to worry about them, because we are not doing it at factory level. Ultimate application of this is only happening in a job. But predetermined machine hour rate definitely should be 4.5 per hour. Same way assembly. Assembly we thought labor hour rate. So labor hour rate, what is better? Factory overheads, which is 1,40,000, divided by number of labor hours is 1 lakh. So 1.4. That is a labor hour rate for assembly department. Packing, 125 divided by 50. 1,25,000 divided by 50,000. That means labor hour rate for that department will be 2.5. Don't total it and all, that has no relevance. So this is machine hour rate, labor hour rate, labor hour rate. Obviously machine hour rate is per machine hour, labor hour rate is per labor hour. How did we get it? Just factory hour rates divided by number of hours, whether it is machine hours or labor hours. So 360,000 by 80,000, 140,000 by 1 lakh, 125,000 divided by 50,000. These are the predetermined rates, which is better to use rather than using one blanket rate on the entire factory overheads, taking direct wages as the basis. So that is what we can suggest here. Still we are not suggesting any better thing like ABC and all. At least this they can do. So in a way, better than blanket rate is departmental rate. No? So that is the better rate that we can suggest in the question number 2. But that is not the only thing. We have to also apply these rates and calculate the selling price for job number CW703 based on the overhead rates calculated in 2 above. So we need to use these rates also. Now question number 3, sub question 3. Now for job number whatever this CW03, we have to take department wise only. That has to be done. How this can be done? We can have departments separately, either way. Machining department, assembly, packing, let us say. These are the departments. Okay. Direct materials given already. There is nothing to separately calculate. 1200, 600, 300. 1200, 600, 300. Direct wages. 240, 360, 60. Same thing. 240, 360, 60. Let us have a total also. Then comes the overheads. Overheads are factory overheads, let us call. Factory overheads, how they have to be recovered for machining department on the basis of machine hour, and machine hour rate is 4.5. We know that. How many machine hours are worked on this machine for this job? 180 hours are worked. That is reality. So 180 into 4.5 will be the factory overheads. That is 810. That is for machining department. Assembly department, we should not look at machine hours, we have to look at labor hours, because that is the labor hour rate basis we have taken. 120 labor hours are worked on that department. So 120 into 1.4 is the overheads. For this particular job, we are absorbing the overheads on the rates. These are also predetermined rates only. Only difference is earlier that was blanket rate, now it is departmental rate. That is the only difference. So 40 labor hours are there in packing department which were worked per hour, labor hour, that had an overhead cost of 2.5. So absorbing that at 100 rupees. Now we can get the factory overheads cost for each of these departments separately. So now we can get the factory cost. So what is the total factory cost? 3838. This is factory cost. Simply add 30%. This need not be done at individual level. Directly we can add at the total level into 30%. That is for admin and selling and distribution overheads and profit. So what is the selling price now? New selling price 4989.4. What was earlier selling price? 4660.5. See the difference. Earlier, because of an unscientific method, they were charging for this job lesser than what they are supposed to charge. Now, taking a better method compared to blanket rate, the job cost and the job selling price is more. This is correct thing. Earlier, if they continued to do this same nonsense of taking a blanket rate, like this they will get 100 different jobs, and if they keep on underpricing them, at the end of the year suddenly they will wake up and see there will be a lot of loss. Arre, why it happened? We added profit now. That's what they think. That's where the problem happens in real life. Costing, if it is not monitored properly and minute details are not taken, will not result in the good final performance. End of the year suddenly they wake up and say lot of loss has happened. Why will that be? Because you recovered overheads wrong. You have quoted these jobs very less than what you are supposed to quote. You are supposed to quote almost 5,000 rupees. You quoted only 4,600 rupees, so that was underpriced because of the unscientific method what they have been using. That is for understanding purposes. You don't have to write that. And other thing also is asked, fourth one, because it could be a 10 marks question. One more thing asked: calculate the department wise and total under or over recovery of overheads based on the company's current policy and the methods recommended by you. This is not about job. Now this is about the company as a whole. So under or over recovery we have to just find out. Simple. Same way we can take it. Company as a whole also he has asked. So departmental wise also he has asked. So what is the only overheads? Here we are not worried about anything else. Direct material, direct wages we are not worried about. Only under or over recovery of overheads he has asked. Okay. So that means what is the actual overheads? Let us take first. Whatever is given in the question, those are the actual overheads. What are the actual factory overheads? 3,90,000. Then 84,000. Then 135,000. Total 6,09,000. That is actual overheads, real incurred factory overheads. Okay. And if a company uses the existing policy, what was the overheads which are absorbed on the basis of actual direct wages? Because their policy is 125% of direct wages. So what is actual direct wages? Actual direct wages is this. Okay. Again, we are taking it departmental wise, though it is not required. Let us take recovered or absorbed overheads under current policy. What is that? 125% of direct wages, right? 125% of 96,000. 96,000 into 125%. That would be absorbed. Then assembly, 125% of 2,70,000. That would be absorbed. Then 125% of 90,000. That would be absorbed. Total is 5,70,000. So there is an under absorption. Under absorption of how much? Total 39,000. That is total. But he has asked for departmental under absorption also. So we are doing that. So what is under absorption or over absorption? Here, this is under absorption. This is over absorption. Minus 253,500 means over absorption. This 22,500 is also under absorption. So you have to clearly write what it is. This is under absorption. This is over absorption. This is under absorption. Total under absorption of 39,000 happened using the current method of taking 125% on direct wages as if it is the recovered overheads. Recovered overheads are only 570,000 because total direct wages actually are only 96,000 plus 270 plus 90, and that 125% is 5,70,000 is recovered overheads. But actual overheads are different, which are more. That means under absorption or under recovery happened using current method. That's what is the under absorption or over absorption. Now let us take, what about the new method? Same things. Actual will not change. Actual is actual, that will not change. 390, 84, 135, that will not change. But recovered, of course, will change. Recovered, how much is that? Under new method, That will be recovered on the basis of what? We know that. That is machine hours for M, labor hours for A and B. So how many machine hours are actually worked for this period for the entire factory? 96,000 hours are worked. So how it will be recovered? On the basis of 96,000 into machine hour rate 4.5. That's what we suggested. So there is going to be over absorption in M in that case. For A, it will be labor hours. So not 96,000, we should take this labor hours for assembly department. 90,000 into recovery will happen on the basis of labor hour rate, which was 1.4 as we already calculated. So 1,26,000. Here also there is a over absorption. Now taking third one, 60,000, packing department. Number of labor hours is 60,000, but labor hour rate is for packing department 2.5. That means there is a under absorption here also of 15,000. There is a total, over absorption. This is not under absorption. All of them are over absorption because recovered is more than actual. Recovered is more. So 99,000 is over absorption. All of them are over absorptions only. So that is the reality when we used the new rates, departmental overhead rates, taking machine hour rate for machining department, labor hour rates for assembly and packing departments. Recovery will happen on the basis of those rates, and naturally there will be under or over absorption according to that. So let us check the final answer so that accurately whether we did or not we can confirm. This is the question, 10 marks question this is. Look at the answer for this, question number 9. Currently first you have to find out 125% is the basis. Then selling price of the job is 4660.5. Then what is the better suggestion what you will give for each department? You don't need to write this much text, but you can just suggest, since the number of hours are more in machining department, machine hours, so machine hour rate is better, enough, one line is enough, no need to write stories. So 4.5, 1.4, 2.5 are the rates. That is the answer for second question. Then third question, recalculating the job price, that is 4989, that is also there. Then fourth question, under or over recovery of overheads according to existing method 270, 253 and 500 and 22,500, total 39,000, that is given. So that is same. Now look at the other things. Here it is over recovery 99,000. So here all of them are over absorptions or over recovery. You don't worry about plus or minus, that is more dangerous thing. Just write what it is exactly. Is it under absorption or over absorption? Very clear. If absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads, it is under absorption. If absorbed overheads are more than actual, it is over absorption. Write that clearly below this. So such kind of questions can be very well expected for 10 marks. That's a very good question, and actually, as I said, it can be a precursor for activity based costing also. Though we are not using activity based costing here, but we can understand how a better treatment of overheads will change the numbers, how the job prices themselves will change. Earlier they were using some different overhead recovery rate. Now we proposed a better scientific overhead recovery rates of machine hour rate and labor hour rate. If we further propose better rates on the basis of actual data of the real activities of machining department, packing and assembly departments, that same thing becomes ABC, nothing else. That is what is activity based costing. We will start the discussion on that activity based costing in the next session. With this, as far as overheads chapter is concerned, all the possible models or general questions that can be expected in the examinations are covered. But of course, I repeat it any number of times, in costing we cannot say that same type of question will come. Similar questions might definitely come, and the generic questions irrespective of whatever the chapter they are related to can be expected. All of them are to be answered conceptually with understanding the data given and what is asked from us, rather than trying to fix the question into our framework of answer. If that attitude is exhibited in the examination, trying to fix the question into our framework of answer, it will never happen in costing. That will create troubles and definitely causes problems in obtaining good marks. Rather than that, open-minded approach to the question, reading the question carefully, data given to be observed carefully, compiled carefully. It takes time. Definitely these questions are lengthy. I know that. Even ABC questions and service costing questions also will be lengthy. In exams they will take a lot of time. Then how to reduce that? One and only mantra. Practice. On paper, how much you practice, your pen speed will increase, and in the examination also you will be able to solve them within the time available. Costing and accounts, these two papers are quite common, where the students most of the times complain that time is not sufficient. If time was a little bit available more, I would have attempted more marks. That comment or that situation I don't want any of you to face. I want you to comfortably complete the entire paper within 3 hours. You don't have to complete less than 3 hours. At least within 3 hours, as many marks as possible. 95, 96, okay. Definitely it should be more than 90, not less than that. So target is of course 100, but somewhere between 90 to 100 is what everybody should be trying and able to attempt in the main examination. That can happen only with increasing speed and accuracy also, which focuses and which actually results in marks finally. So that is overheads. Again, 3 types of questions broadly. One is distribution, redistribution. Second is computation of machine hour rate. Third is under or over absorption of overheads using supplementary rates. Along with that, we did some other questions also using job costing and any other type of situation. Whatever the situation comes in overheads in front of us, we have to be able to solve them. That's all. That concludes overheads chapter, if at all it is a chapter. And then we will move on to another topic and concept called activity based costing in the next session. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Thank you very much.